Internet world. My name is Tommy. You might know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. And I'm here with our draft analysis for the MMDL, the Mix and Mega Draft League Season 2. Shout outs to Zoog and Night Owl for putting this together, and all the other coaches who were involved. It's going to be an absolute blast. I'm so stoked to be doing this, so let's not wait any longer. Welcome to the workshop. Alright, we're here breaking down the team for the MMDL. Before I get started on the team composition, I wanted to talk a little bit about the format. So this is a pretty standard draft, 11 Pokemon, 135 points, but what makes this a little bit interesting is that I also drafted 2 Mega Stones. And so each of the stones gets assigned to one of the Pokemon I have in my roster, and that Pokemon can then Mega Evolve in battle, right? So for that Pokemon, when it Mega Evolves, it's going to get the stat boosts, the ability, and any possible secondary typings that the Mega form would have. So for example, if I drafted Gyarados and put it on something, it would get a Dark type when it Mega Evolves as a secondary typing. It would get 30 in attack, defense, and special defense, and 10 in special attack, and then it would get Mold Breaker as its ability. Spoiler alert, I didn't take Gyarados, but that's the general premise. So I get 2 of those. I can only bring one of my Megas to the battle, but I do have the option to not bring, obviously, the Mega if I so choose. I can bring the base one. So going into this, I was fortunate enough to have the 16th pick in the draft. It gives me a wheel for each of my rounds, which is great because I get to pair stuff together. I can potentially pair a Mega Stone with a base form straight away. I can take, things that have really great synergy together. And as the first round progressed, a bunch of stones were going. I think like the first 10, 11 picks that were made were all stones. So there were some amazing things left on the board when it got to my pick. So I decided to not go with a straight, Mega Stone and base form pairing. I decided to go with a really great Mom that I can build the team around, and I also decided to pick up a Stone because it was super versatile. So going into my first set of picks, I decided that I would take Rillaboom with my first overall pick. Spinal Tap the Rillaboom. Absolutely fantastic Pokemon. I've wanted to use it for a while now, but I've never had the chance to. This thing's incredible. The obvious thing, Grassy Glide on Grassy Surge, absolutely nuts. Priority with Choice Band, Swords Dance, Life Orb sets with Grassy Seed. It's absolutely fantastic, and it hits like a truck. Late game, it's always great. It's super fantastic for momentum purposes. It can come in super easy, click U-turn on something. And it just supports the team really well with Grassy Surge, providing general recovery to things that maybe don't want to hold leftovers or can't hold leftovers with like a Mega Stone, for example. It's got some great natural bulk to it. 100 in HP and 90 in defense is fantastic. Even if I'm not invested, it can take some hits here and there if I really needed to. But it's just overall a great mon. I've wanted to use it for a while, and it's a great place to start building our draft. It gives us a spot for our Firewater Grass Core and just some general utility for the team. It can do so much. So I'm super stoked about using Rillaboom. And then for my next pick, I did want to grab a Mega Stone. Like I said, a ton of them were going. There were still some good options. A bunch of the super busted stuff was gone, obviously. But there was a stone that I really liked. It's super versatile, and I can slap it on pretty much anything. And that's Absolite. So Absolite is an amazing stone. Mega Absol known for being just a glass cannon, essentially. But the stone itself is really cool because it only gives 20 in attack, but 40 in special attack and speed, which is great. You can throw it on pretty much any special attacker, and it's going to get a huge boost in its attacking potential. But what it also gets, and this is super crucial for me, is it also gets Magic Bounce as an ability. Magic Bounce is obviously super fantastic. Stuff with Mega Absol and Mega Diancie using it fantastically. And then obviously, Mega Sableye, the obnoxious thing it is. So Magic Bounce is so great for hazard deterring, setting up, makes it so much easier so you can't get toxic by most things and stuff like that. Bouncing back Taunt and Thunder Wave and all these other things that may be just a general annoyance to bulkier things, or just allowing the rest of the team to function safer because of that threat of Magic Bounce in the back. So I'm really excited to use Absolite. So going into my next set of picks, I wanted to keep working on my cores, keep moving on my Firewater Grass Core, and get started on my Fairy Dragon Steel. So I decided to take Heatran. Obviously, Heatran works super well with Rillaboom. Really appreciates the grassy terrain that Rillaboom provides. Obviously, he doesn't want to take those Earthquakes, but having the damage of Earthquake for Heatran is super great because it's got that huge ground immunity being Fire and Steel type. It obviously gets me closer to my cores from my Fire Water Grass and starts off my Fairy Dragon Steel. But Heatran is an amazing pawn. I've used it in the past. It's super versatile, it's really bulky, and with a great special attack stat, it can do so much for a team. Offensive sets are really great, Fire Blast, Eruption even if I'm running Scarf, then Flash Cannon, Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, it does so much. But it's also great defensively, can Stealth Rock really well, Roar, Toxic, a bunch of great utility options, and then a unique option in Magma Storm for trapping things, obviously. 75 accuracy, I'm a little wary of it, but it's still a great option I can use for trapping big steel types that Rillaboom hates, right? Something like Steela, Hard Walls, Rillaboom. Heatran eats Steela for breakfast, I mean, besides like the Earthquake option, obviously. But it's really, really cool. I'm loving Heatran, it looks great. And then to pair with Heatran, I originally took Azumarill with my 4th pick, which would complete the Fire Water Grass and move me closer to Fairy Dragon Steel. But upon completion of my draft, I was looking at it and realized I was missing a little bit of a something. So I decided to switch out Azumarill. Rip Scoodles the Azumarill, he would have been fantastic. But I decided to switch him out for Primarina. Primarina obviously still gives me that Fairy and Water typing, but Primarina, it gives me a huge special wall breaker, which was super crucial for my team. Yeah. Just choice specs Primarina, man. Hydro Pump, Moonblast, Energy Ball, Ice Beam, Psychic, Shadow Ball. It gets so many good moves. Flip Turn is a fantastic option for pivoting out. If there's something that really walls Primarina's dual stab. And it's just such an amazing mon. It's great special bulk. It can run Sub-Calm Mind sets really well. It does get Draining Kiss. You can run some cheese sets with it. It does get Whirlpool and Perish Song, which is really cool. And then again, of course, I love the pivoting option with Flip Turn. Bringing in like if a big defensive mon comes in to take on an offensive Primarina, just Flip Turning out, getting into one of my bigger hitters like Rillaboom or Heatran, or anything else that I have on the team. It's a great option for me. So with Fire Water Grass fully complete, Fairy Dragon Steel almost there. The team is looking. I'm really stoked about how the team is looking right now. So with my next pick, I decided to take a little bit more offense, a little bit more general bulk. So I decided to go with Krookodile. Krookodile is one of my favorite mons to use in draft. Grounded Dark is an amazing typing with awesome dual stab and Earthquake and knockoff. Getting close combat, Stone Edge, Scale Shot is supporting moves is also fantastic. It does get Stealth Rocks, which is a great option. And then one of the things I love most about Krookodile is its versatility and how it functions as a Dark type. So Dark types are obviously super important for any draft team. Having a bulky Dark is huge to deal with big Psychic types. And then offensive Darks, obviously, for knocking off and just being a great offensive type. And I love Krookodile because it functions so well in both of those roles. 117 attack and 92 speed is great for offensive sets. But then also 95 base HP, 80 defense is very respectable with Intimidate, and it can run Leftovers, Rocky Helmet. It can function very, very well as a defensive Pokemon, which is why I think it's so valuable and versatile. So I love Krookodile. It gets so many great things. Its abilities are fantastic, awesome dual stab, awesome setup potential, and it's really something you have to watch out for every single week. It can come almost every single week. I do believe I'll bring Crook a lot, just because of how versatile it is and how well it fits onto pretty much every team. So yeah, that's where the team is at. So at this point, I'm really liking the front four I've got. But you're probably sitting there like, this is supposed to be Mix and Mega. I'm here for some dumb Megas. I'm ready for some busted stuff. And I'm ready to deliver. With my next pick, I decided to finally grab what would be my first Mega Pokemon. And I had this plan from the beginning. I did some testing, and it was kind of absurd. And I'm so glad that I got this. So I decided to throw my Absolite on Cresselia. Mega Cresselia is looking to be amazing. Cresselia, just regular, fantastic. 120 HP, 120 defense, and 130 special defense. It's an absolute unit. Not a lot takes down Cresselia without major specs or banned or setting up all over the place. So with Levitate in base form, it helps out Heatran a lot. If I can't bring Grassy Terrain or Rillaboom, still helps out Heatran with that synergy. But then upon Mega Evolving, this is where stuff gets kind of nutty. It suddenly gets 125 base speed out of nowhere. It can set up super easy in front of things, fire off big Moonblast, Psychic, Ice Beam. But the big thing, of course, Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce on Cresselia is kind of nuts. It just lets it set up so easily. It absolutely thrashes things. Late game, early game, it's so bulky it can function incredibly well as a deterrent. And then one of the things I love so much about this Mega Cresselia is that you can't knock off a Mega Stone. So losing the big potency of knockoff is absolutely huge for a lot of the dark types that Cresselia might not enjoy dealing with so much. I've got very, very high hopes for Mega Cresselia. It's absolutely disgusting. I think I'm gonna feel really dirty using it, but I'm very, very excited to see how this turns out. So yeah, moving on with my first Mega slot, totally done. I wanted to move back to, you know, rounding out the team, adding some support options, and filling out my cores as well. So I decided to go with Dragalge. I love Dragalge. It's a great Pokemon. Poison Dragon is a fantastic typing with adaptability, dropping those big Dracos, those big sludge waves, and flip turning out is always great. It's definitely slow, but it gives me some more bulk to support the team. But what I really love about this Dragalge pick is the Toxic Spikes option. Toxic Spikes, along with Rillaboom, along with Brook, along with Cresselia and Mega Form, is absolutely huge for some just general chip to help those function as well as they can. So I think the Dragalge is going to be a great piece of this team. It does enjoy having grassy terrain around just for passive recovery. If I'm running Assault Vest and I can't run Black Sludge, it does enjoy the extra recovery and just, you know, handling those Earthquakes, because it'll take on an Earth Power fairly well just because it is so bulky. But helping out against Earthquakes is super huge for this Pokemon. I'm very excited to use it, and I think it's going to fit the team really well. And so from here on, I'm looking at the team, I'm really stoked. So I decided to take my second Mega Stone here, and the Mega Stone I chose was Mewtwonite X. This thing is ridiculous. Throwing an extra 80 base attack onto a Mon. It can be any Mon, and it's going to be absurd. I'm so excited to use Mewtwonite X. Obviously, it also gives Fighting type to something else, which is fantastic. Say something gets like close combat, you want to give it stab. That's stab close combat on pretty much anything is super great, but with an extra 80 base attack on that, it turns anything from maybe just a mediocre Mon to an instant powerhouse. A little bit of extra bulk there, not super useful, but this is pretty much just cranking things up to 11. Massive steroid injection to something. I'm so stoked to use this. And with my next pick, I decided to take my base form that I would throw Mewtwonite X on. We're rocking with Mega Lycanroc. Mega Lycanroc, again, I have huge expectations for. 195 base attack with Priority and Accelerock, and a great stab combination in Stone Edge or Accelerock in close combat with Swords Dance potential. Unreal. A fantastic speed tier at 112. That's why I'm okay with, you know, not having any speed. But it's, oh god, this thing is going to be brutal. Terrakions, murdering cousin. And we got a cute little wolf. I am so excited to use Lycanroc. I've used Lycanroc Dusk a bit in the past, and this is just amped up to 11. I'm so excited, and it just creates an amazing 1-2 punch with Cresselia, because if you choose to like hard prep for one of my megas and not the other one, you're gonna be toasted, right? Because this thing is just so offensive and brutal. Clean up team super easy late game. But Cresselia, you know, it kind of takes advantage of those passive mons. It sets up really easily and then kind of goes from there. So I love having both options. Both can come in pretty much any scenario, and both are going to be, you know, huge pressure. Both bring a lot of pressure in prep. So I'm really excited about this combination, and I really hope they do work. So that's pretty much the exciting stuff. But I gotta fill out the rest of this team. I don't really have removal, and I'm lacking some big types. So from here on out, the next pick I'm going to have is Komala. Obviously, it gives me a great Rapid Spinner. It gives me a normal type, a great Assault Vest user. It gives me a Wish Passer with some cool options as well. Knockoff, U-Turn, Play Rough, Iron Head, a bunch of great moves. Comatose is a really cool ability. It lets me switch into Will-O-Wisps and Thunder Waves and stuff like that. And also just Sleep Talk, Choice Band, Last Resort. Huge set. Always hits like a truck with that 115 attack stat. It's just a great spinner. It's something I didn't have. And it lets me, you know, round out the team ability a little bit more. So it's not just a bunch of big dudes just slamming stuff into the ground. Lets me play a little bit intelligently, you know. So with my next pick, I wanted a little bit more utility for the team. I wanted a Defogger and a reliable flying type. So I decided to take Scyther. Scyther's a really cool mon, especially with the addition of heavy duty boots. Lets me run in, defog easily. Technician dual wing beat is fantastic. U-turning out, setting up Swords Dances. It's a really great versatile mon. Some awesome bulk. If I'm really not afraid of Stealth Rocks, I could slap an Eviolite on there for some very nice bulk with 80 in both defenses. 105 speed is great with 110 base attack. You know, just, it doesn't do, it U-turns, it dual wing beats, it defogs. So I'm pretty excited to use Scyther. I don't think it'll be anything fantastic, but I think it has a lot of potential. then I needed another defogger, obviously. And at this point, I'm running out of points. I needed an electric type, so I decided to take Emolga. Emolga's a cool mon. It's a great typing and electric flying with 2 great abilities in static and motor drive. I'm definitely excited about Emolga. It can function kind of bulky. It doesn't have great stats, obviously. 55, 65, 65 is nothing to write home about. But with a little bit of investment, it can do what I need it to do. It defogs, obviously, can volt switch and U-turn around. Thunderbolts and air slashes is a solid dual stab combination that you can boost up for longevity. So I'm pretty excited about Emolga, and plus it's cute. So if nothing else, we have a little cute team mascot. And then for my last pick, I only had 2 points left. I wanted an ice type and another water resist for Heatran, and I decided to take Tanner the Dewgong. It's got some decent bulk with 90, 80, 90. It can run boots, which is helpful with Assault Vest. Surf, Ice Beam, Scald. Doesn't get a whole lot, but it's a huge ice resist for me. For Rillaboom and Crook to go along with Heatran. A nice fire resist, a nice water resist. And it's a pretty good value for 2 points, I'd say, just the amount of bulk you get. It can run both offensive sets. It gets Drill Run, which is a cool option, and obviously just like Scald, Ice Beam, stuff like that, and Toxic and all that. But that's the team. I'm really excited about this team. I think it came out really, really well. I think the amount of power I've got is absolutely nuts with the huge defensive potential of stuff like Cresselia and Dragalge. And I'm really excited to try the 2 megas. Cresselia is going to be a monster. Lycanroc is also going to be a monster. And I'm really excited to see the duality of how both of them function together. So that's the end of the analysis. I've got my first battle coming up this week against my buddy Adam. That's going to be a great match. I'm super excited for it. And if there's anybody who stuck this out to the end, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, drop a comment, tell me how I can be better. Obviously, this is my second YouTube video, so I'm learning and doing as much as I can to make these videos the best they can possibly be. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.